Hi, I'm Rebecca Leland, co-host of From the Wings, here with my beautiful guest today, Jessica Means.
Hi.
We are here in the airport in New York, headed back home from a whirlwind of a weekend that we got to spend here in New York. One show that Reba and I did not get the chance to see, but you got the chance to see, was
Water for Elephant.
Could you give like a synopsis of the show?
It follows the story of Jacob. He is an older man who goes to visit the circus, but it's packing up. And he regales the head of the circus and one of the performers with his stories of his experience being part of the circus. And so the story then transports the viewer back into how he came to the circus and his experiences in the circus. Then he tells them the story, and as the story goes on, they're more and more connected with him.
Yeah.
And then I don't want to give away the ending, but at the end, he is seen. And I think as we age, there's that fear, am I going to be ignored? Am I going to be worthy of my stories, right? And sometimes people don't give time to people who have lived because they're older and they treat them almost childlike, which you saw a little bit at the beginning. And then there's this justification that he's lived and he's somebody and he's worth it.
Wow.
Just like everybody should be. So I think that was a theme that I found super powerful.
So what did you think about the actors?
You feel transported into a circus. So they do add a lot of theatrical elements. And I would say the three main characters, right, who's Jacob and then Marlena, who's the performer who he builds a relationship with. I think I connected more with the woman. I feel like so what kind of connects her with the Jacob guy, because she's actually married to the circus guy, the head of the circus. But she's the horse rider, the beautiful woman who rides on the horse.
Yes.
And her horse is ailing. But he has the training for a vet, and so he kind of helps that situation. He goes to find a horse, but the horses have all been snatched up by another circus, so he ends up with an elephant.
Oh, thus the name.
Water for Elephant.
Elephant, okay.
There's a really beautiful moment where Marlena, the main girl, is singing to her horse, and the horse is actually played by a ribbon dancer.
Oh.
And so it's this really beautiful, like, lyrical visual, and it was really interesting interpretation.
Wow.
So that was really a moving moment, but there were a lot of I feel like I watched the show with my jaw dropped.
Yeah.
For a really good chunk of time.
Wow.
If you want to be wowed,
like
that is a lot of the choreography is done by people who have circus training. It was out of this world.
So what was the set like? Was it like set in a tent, or was it set like multiple sets?
It's got kind of a set projection of just a sky in the background that's always there with like some grass. And then they have scaffolding pieces on wheels that become the train. It becomes the cages for the animals.
By moving it around.
Yeah, it becomes where they sleep. It becomes their rooms. It was really interesting because sometimes they would hook it up to ropes and then they would lift. They would spin them around, move them around, create different things. There's a moment where he's running to catch on the train, and so they have people lift him and have him fly through the air, and then he gets on the ladder and it's shaking, and then the other pieces come, and then he climbs on it, and then they're moving it. So it was just really It was. I thought that the set was really creative.
Yeah.
What was another really notable thing was how the animals were done was through the acrobats and the dancers. The ensemble is what made this show stellar.
I love that.
Wasn't led necessarily by the actors. I would feel like the actors were a part of it, so it really felt like an ensemble, but that's kind of what a circus is.
So what is the music like? I honestly have not heard anything from this cast recording.
Definitely the beginning has like almost like a southern kind of feel at the beginning, and then when Marlena, the acrobatic character, it's very ethereal. I would say hers, different characters have a different feel to their music that kind of fits with who they are.
The character's personality in the music.
Yes. hands down, which I liked. I really enjoyed the music.
Yeah.
There were a couple numbers that really stood out, but those were the ensemble numbers. There were some moments of like beautiful harmony. And Marlena's voice is very ethereal. So that was really cool. She's acrobatic and lithe, right? And so I liked that they made those choices for her. I don't remember there being like a lot of foul language. There is like alcohol use. There's some trigger warnings of abuse.
Okay.
But for the most part, I wasn't watching it thinking, ooh.
Yes.
But it might have also been I was so enthralled with something else. So if somebody does see it and they're like, wait, Jessica.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But it wasn't shocking. There wasn't like a shocking amount of anything.
No, and there wasn't, even there are some like sexier dancers and it was totally not inappropriate.
Okay.
Like they just had shorts and like a little tied tank top and they're just like practicing their dance.
If you had to rate it 1 to 10, 1 being literally the worst musical you've ever seen in your life, and 10 being like just a really very stellar, amazing musical, where would you place Water for Elephants?
I think I place it at an 8.5. The beginning is so acrobatic and theatrical
and, you're just
like wowed, and then when it starts to kind of be the love story aspect, it got a little bit
draggy.
I really had a good time. Like I think it has a lot of the aspects.
Yeah.
Is it my favorite musical I've ever seen? No. Is it worthy of getting nominated for Best Musical for the Tonys? Yes.
I love that. Well, an 8.5, that is a very much so like if I was coming to Broadway, it's probably a production I would want to come see.
Yeah, and it was innovative. And it played with, it knew the talent and it played to their strengths.
I love that.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for sharing. And thank you for being here in New York and having fun. But until next time, it's just me.
And me.
Talking to you from the wings
from New York.